let's start with Lucille. She's one of our top agents, and she's the one who's computer savvy in our group. So we would like to acknowledge Tito Mani, okay, very far from Crenshaw. So he's our welcome back, balikbayan, whatever. Jude, and then we have Pelly's guest over there. I cannot read the name, I'm sorry about it. Stephanie.
Hi,
Okay,
Stephanie.
introduce yourself better. And then we have Charmaine. And we have to acknowledge the presence of Miss Marisa, who's working with ADP. So we are, since we have our employers wellness, financial wellness foundation, so she will be our complimentary alliance for employers. So any employers have problem with payroll tax, IRS, everything, then Marisa is the girl. So this area is Beverly Hills, so what she can come here anytime.
I do downtown everywhere.
Okay, we would like to acknowledge our two beautiful ladies over there, who is Jolly and Eva. And then here's our well-supportive better half of our good mentor, Eugenia, and then Jane. And our special guest is our valued client of AGLA. That's why I want them to be here to understand what they have. Because, having 500 and almost a million policy, you should understand what is in it, So it's Mark Gorillo, beautiful wife, the beautiful mother.
All right.
So, Frank will introduce our special guest tonight, who's been roaming around California. It's our privilege for him to be here once a year. So he's just visiting us once a year. So we want to acknowledge our new guest. He's a director and a wife, a doctor who's, advocating new skin. So everybody who wants to be beautiful, consult with her.
All
She's the girl. Okay? And then also our special colleagues and associates, and she will pray for us for her exam on Friday. It's our Nikki, consul of
Ethiopia.
Ethiopia. Yeah. So we are very much privileged to have a mixed culture over here. Golden Star is very proud to have you all. So, Frank, you wanna take the floor?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, thank you everybody for coming. Golden Star, it's a very, very good organization in our business. Welcome you. Golden Star carry a lot of product, represent many companies, but the one particular company we like the most because they have excellent product. That's one of the best in the industry. Well, the best in the industry. Many of you have presented the product, has sold the product, has purchased the product, so you know it's the best. And tonight we have invite someone from the company to send one of their trainer, Jim Langford. He's a consultant with AGLA, and he's very, very knowledgeable. He has many years in the industry. He's well-rounded, right? So he's going to introduce the company and the products that we are selling. We are using it to help our clients. If you have any questions, I really want you, focus, concentrate on the presentation. If you have questions, please ask your questions. So tonight, after the meeting, I want every one of you fully understand what the product is. Okay, so it's going to help you with your business. And that you know the product then well enough, then you can go out, present the product to your friends, families, clients, helping their families so that their families can be protected. And you can make a lot of money too. So for that, I do ask every one of you, please put your hands together. Let's welcome Jim Langford.
Thank you, Mr. Frank.
Thank you.
I'm calling him Mr. Frank now because I keep hearing people call him Mr. Frank, and I just love that name, Mr. Frank. And you can call me Mr. Jim. I like that. So hi.
Hi.
I'm Jim Langford, and I'm here to talk about American General Life and Accident, AGLA. AGLA. It's like Aflac, but it's AGLA. We don't have a duck. I think we need a mascot. What kind of mascot should we have? We don't want a duck. But to think about that one. So I'm here today to talk about the company and the products and stuff. Should I plan on going until 9 o'clock? Anybody have an opinion? Oh, no one's listening to me over there. Okay,
That's okay.
I'm going to go for it. So I'm going to have to skip some of the slides because I think I have enough slides here for about 3 days. So at certain points I'll have to skip through. I will say, is there anybody here who wants something explained to them in detail, or something you don't understand, or anything you want me to focus on in particular? Anything? Because otherwise I just start talking and I don't stop. It's okay if I just start talking and I don't stop? Okay. Okay, but if there is something you want me to talk about, please, or if you want to understand, just raise your hand. Just ask, okay? I have no problems. If you want to fight with me, argue with me, please do, okay? I have done this forever, okay? I started in the insurance business in 1990. When I got married, my wife informed me that married people have to have jobs. And when I got married, I didn't have a job, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. And rather than try to find a job, go on interviews to find a job, I read this book called What Color Is Your Parachute? And it said, if you don't know what you want to do, go and interview somebody who has a job. And ask them, tell me what you do. Do you like it? What don't you like about it? So you interview people so it was great because I really didn't have to look for a job. I just went and interviewed people, and I'd go home and said, yeah, I don't want to work in the paper business, honey. I don't want to work in the plastics business. I don't want to do this. But one day I made the mistake of going into a Prudential insurance office, and within 5 minutes they offered me a job. And I felt I had to take it because my wife wanted me to have a job. And I ended up finding out that I love the insurance business, and I've been in it since 1990. I was an agent selling to you and your husband, right? I was meeting with you, sir, and apparently you're clients, huh? Your clients with AGLA? Okay, so I would sell them some life insurance, and I'd take care of your 401k or IRA, and I'd do your auto and homeowners insurance, and I love this business. I just love it. The big thing I think about this business, and those of you who've been in it know this job is all about talking to people. I just say this is a chit-chat job. If I can meet you and we can talk for a little bit and you smile, that was good, she smiled on cue, eventually she's going to buy something from me. If you feel comfortable doing business, that's what this business is about, talking to people. Yes, you have to understand something about the products and the companies, and you have to have some sales skills, but bottom line, this is just a job where you just keep talking to people, and eventually you're going to run into people who want to buy from you. So, just want to say a couple of things about the home office. I don't know if you can see this in the back. 800-358-5753, press 1. This is the sales desk. I want to encourage you to use us. Call them up when you need marketing material, if you need life insurance applications, if you're trying to figure out how to run an illustration or you want somebody to run an illustration, if you want to get stuff shipped out to you, these are the people to call. You just give them a call and press 1. That's for new business. If you've already submitted an application and you're wondering what's going on with it, you want to check in on it, or you want to provide some information. Let's say you got an email that says we're missing some piece of information. You can call the same number and press 2. And that will get you right into the new business section. And I must say that Golden Star and Frank did a huge service for my company by complaining last year.
That's the business.
Honestly, what happened towards the end of the AGLA products have become very popular, as you know. And suddenly last year, not suddenly, but fairly quickly last year, the number of applications we were getting at the home office went up, 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 up. And our underwriters were swamped working on your business. The problem was it kept getting slower and slower, more apps coming in. And Frank sent an email to the president and he made a very nice argument for giving better service. The company listened to Frank, which they don't usually do. They don't listen to people from the field, and they hired 12 people, trained them in over the last couple of months, and on Monday they went live. So when you press 2, there's a whole new team of people who are there to answer the question when on your pending business, help you get stuff issued. So I just had to talk about that. For those of you who don't know, the company I'm talking about is American General Life and Accident Insurance Company, based in Nashville, Tennessee, where all that country music comes from. Can you hear me in the back okay? Yeah. Okay. It's a big company. It's over 100 years old. It's got a lot of money in the bank. I think this is important to understand, because when we're talking about life insurance, we're talking about a promise to pay somebody a large piece of money sometime in the future. And if I'm your customer, I want to know that you're selling me a company that has a good chance of being here tomorrow, and a decade from now, and 50 years from now. And I want to know that because every month I'm giving you my hard-earned money in terms of premium. And I want to know that the company is going to take care of my premium, because I want them to be able to take care of me and my family. So you have a company that has a lot of money in the bank and fantastic ratings. We've got great ratings, so it's not going to be a problem representing the company in the field. In your folders on the left-hand side, there are several pieces that talk about the financial strength of the company and the ratings. These are marketing pieces that you can use with your customers, and I would encourage you to do that, because I think it's good for them to know the company that you're selling. For those of you who know AGLA, this is not new, but AGLA has designed life insurance that's different than the rest of the industry. Would you agree? You know, when I started in the business in 1990, all you had was life insurance that would pay out if somebody died. And while that's an important thing, it doesn't always make sense to people. Because, oh, I'm going to die sometime, maybe not. You know, I'm one of those people, like, I can live forever. And here you are coming into my house today, and you're trying to get me to give you $100 or whatever the number is. And I'm like, it's hard to motivate me to do that. Oh, sure, I love my wife. You're my wife now. Sure, I love my wife and my son and my other son over here. But I'm not willing to put money down on that today. I'm resistant to that, right? You run into that all the time. People don't want to commit. So the idea was we would design life insurance that was more attractive, more appealing. Life insurance that made sense to people in their day-to-day life. I'm going to skip some of these. Just first of all, in our country, back in 2004, I don't know if you can see this number, it says 22%. So 2004, 9 years ago, 22% of Americans had no life insurance. Today, and this is actually 2 years ago now, 30% of Americans had no life insurance. It's closer to 34% right now in 2013, have no life insurance. Okay, so that means there are a lot of people out there who have no life insurance. But most people have life insurance through work, and work only. My first manager in the business explained to me, he said to me, if a person only has life insurance at work, it's like they don't have life insurance at all. Why? Because if they leave their employer, their life insurance is not portable, right? It doesn't come with them. That means they leave that employer and they're uninsured. And they're older now, and perhaps they're uninsurable. And so I've always been a big believer that you need your own life insurance outside of work.
Yeah, even if they didn't bring money into it for all those years, as soon as they leave, they lose it.
The reason that it doesn't, why? Somebody have some sunglasses? The reason it doesn't go with them is that about 99% of life insurance at work is term insurance. It's group term insurance. Therefore, it has no cash value, no value that can follow you. It's only for my employees. It's very inexpensive for me as for me as the employer to buy life insurance for all of you, or maybe you have to pay for it. It's only going to cost you like what, $10 a month or something.
You lose that when you leave.
But as soon as you leave, it doesn't follow you. Because remember, when you got that group life insurance, there was no underwriting, typically, right? I mean, I remember I worked at this insurance company once, and they gave you automatically life insurance that equaled your salary. But if you wanted, you could get up to 3 times your salary in life insurance as long as you were willing to give them some of your blood or your firstborn or something. In that case, you could keep some of it, but in most cases it doesn't. So if you say, well, people with only group insurance, that's like they don't have insurance, this 30% goes up to about 54% of Americans have no life insurance. So simply said, there's a big market out there. But remember, the world's changed a lot in the last, say, decade. Back in 1990, this is debt, credit card debt. The number here, 1990, average credit card debt was $3,000 in the country. $3,000 in 1990. In 2007, it jumped up to about $10,000 debt on a credit card. What happened in 2008?
Lehman Brothers.
Things happen, mortgage implosion, everything's going on. Credit card debt has spiraled upwards, so that today, 2013, the average credit card debt in our country is a little over $16,000. $16,000, I don't know what that makes for a minimum monthly payment, but it ain't small. So people have a lot of debt. Back in 1981, that's this number down here, savings rate, how much of people's income were they setting aside for whatever, retirement, emergency fund? About 10%. 10% of their income back in 1981. By 2000, people were already spending more than they were bringing in. So they were running at a negative savings rate. Just last week I was at my friend Jeff's house. I'm from Minnesota. And we were sitting in his house and I said, you bought this house like 20 years ago. Didn't you like pay 60 grand for it? 64. And I said, what's it worth today? He's like, $440,000. I said, wow. You know, he picked the right house in the right neighborhood and it's great. And I said, wow, you've got a nice little nest egg here. And he said, yeah, I just wish I hadn't refinanced it every time it went up in value. So he treated his house as a bank account. But it's not a bank account because it's a debt account, right? He's now got a house that's got a $60,000 mortgage. That's debt. That's real debt. So he feels it more insecure than most people, right? Because he's got a huge liability there. So people aren't saving much, and they're getting themselves more and more in debt. Again, I'm going through some of these a little fast, so I apologize if you're reading something and I skip ahead. This simply says, who do they want to buy life insurance from? They want to buy it from you, and they want to buy it face-to-face. They don't want to buy it over the internet, or they don't want to call up a company and have somebody sell it to them. They want to buy life insurance from an individual. If you ask your typical person how long they could survive if they lost their job, right? If I lose my job today, how long can I survive financially? 40% of people said they would immediately have trouble meeting their everyday living expenses. Another 30% said they would have trouble meeting their expenses after several months. So 70% of us would have trouble meeting their financial responsibilities within several months, if not immediately. So the question we have to ask ourselves is, if I am not working, especially if I'm not working because of my health, where's the money going to come from? Let's say you go into someone's house and they have a household income of $100,000. That's a good thing. As an agent who works on commission, you're looking for people who are able to buy something from you because it's that premium that drives your commission, right? Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds good, $100,000, but if you do a fact finder with these people and you start talking about all the expenses they have, what's going on?
I like that slide.
You can have this slide. I will give this to you.
Okay.
I'll even sign it for you.
Thank you.
At the end of the month, these folks might commit to $200. Say, I'll give you $200 to put together some kind of a financial plan. So what are you going to do? You go and meet this family, this person, this couple. Maybe they need life insurance, maybe they need disability insurance, some long-term care insurance, critical illness coverage. We should have 2 more circles on here, I think. One of them should say an emergency fund, and the other one should say a retirement fund. because people need to protect themselves. So, I'm just going to skip this one. The question then becomes, what if you sell them one thing and something else happens to them? What happens if you sell them life insurance and they're in a car accident and they're paralyzed, for example? So at AGLA, what we did is we say, what if we help the American consumer by solving multiple financial concerns with the same discretionary dollar? When I was a Prudential agent I sold a lot of variable life insurance, and we always said, with variable life insurance, you're doing double duty with your $1. That $1 is buying you death insurance and a growing cash value in the policy that the client could use. So with $1, I'm leveraging that dollar to give them life insurance and some future cash accumulation that they can use. Well, at AGLA, we take 4, and if it's a UL product, a permanent product, 6 unrealistic premiums, and we solve those 6 different problems with 1 premium, 1 policy, 1 solution. See what happened there? Watch the puzzle pieces. Are you ready? This is really exciting graphic. Wow, they all came together magically like that. All right. At AGLA, we call our life insurance quality of life. You can understand that, right? The idea is that with an AGLA policy, you have a better chance of having a quality life if something bad happens to you. It's life insurance that has built-in benefits, such as a critical illness component. Exactly. See? As soon as they say, did anybody else hear those bells going off? That was great. Chronic illness coverage, as well as terminal illness coverage. At AGLA, we are the industry leader in how much we will pay out to any one person. We will pay out $1.5 million on any one person, even though they're still alive. What that means is someone could have a $10 million life insurance policy, and if they died, we would pay $10 million to somebody, probably me, right? I go on everybody's application as a beneficiary. I don't know if you know that I'm a beneficiary on your life insurance. But if they didn't die, let's say they got cancer, they would have access to a bucket of money that had $1.5 million in it. Now, if you have a $100,000 life insurance policy and die, somebody gets $100,000. And if you have a $100,000 life insurance policy and you don't die, but you get like cancer, you have a $100,000 bucket of money. We understand that, right? Okay. These living benefits that I'm going to talk about, they go active 30 days after the policy is issued. So I jokingly say, when you deliver a policy to somebody, ask them to lay down on the couch and not move for 30 days. Because if they have a heart attack and they live, or if they're laying on the couch and they get cancer, they're not covered yet. It goes live after 30 days. But once it goes live, you can file a claim for anything. So when it comes to these coverages, critical illness component, these are the specific covered conditions, and I'll read them because it might be too small. Major heart attack, stroke, end-stage renal failure, coma, major organ transplant, paralysis, invasive cancer, and that's important to understand. It's nasty cancer, it's not the basal stem, it's not skin cancer, okay? My father-in-law goes to the doctor or the clinic every 6 weeks. He walks out like 20 minutes later with a Band-Aid on him somewhere. He gets skin cancer, they cut it off, and he goes on. Skin cancer isn't a killer, but skin cancer can turn in, and then you would have you could file a claim. Leukemia, lymphoma, multiple myeloma, coronary artery bypass, and severe burns. For some reason we have coma in here twice, I don't know why. These are specific covered conditions. The second benefit that says you can accelerate your death benefit is the chronic illness. Chronic illness is defined as a person who can't take care of themselves. They can't do these activities of daily living that you and I take for granted. Things like taking a bath, putting on your clothes, walking from here to there, that's transferring, moving around, eating your food, going to the bathroom. These are specific triggers. Excuse me. If an insured can't do 2 of those, they can file a claim. And down here we have cognitive impairment. That's Alzheimer's and dementia. Okay, that's what that is. That's also a reason to file a claim. So critical illness and chronic illness. The final one down here is terminal illness. This is important because AGLA is one of the only companies that defines terminal illness as 24 months or less to live. Most companies say 12 months or less to live, and quite a few companies are still doing 6 months or less to live. So, these are all reasons, if something's happening to someone, that they could say, oh, I want to file a claim. And we're going to skip this one. We're going to go right to a real example. There's actually this little thing on the right-hand side. It's, excuse my reach. It's this piece. This is Stacy Storkey's story. I just like her name. Real person, real insured. She bought a policy from us, a $100,000 term policy back in 2005. And in the first year, she was diagnosed as having breast cancer. Cancer is a trigger under critical illness. So she filed a claim. And this is how this works, folks. She files a claim. The claim gives us, the company, the authority to order her medical records. So we get the medical records from her doctor who's working with her on the cancer, and we make a determination on how this cancer is going to affect her life expectancy. What happens then is we compare that to her rate class when she bought the policy. So, she bought the policy 1 month, and she was rated preferred, non-tobacco. Preferred non-tobacco. But then she got cancer, and we said, well, what's your health like now? It's bad. And in her case, it was considered quite severe. Breast cancer is considered a very severe form of cancer. And so what happened is the company made her an offer of $80,000. $80,000 on her original $100,000. So we would literally say to the insured, we're making you an offer at this point of $80,000. In her case, she said, thank you, right? Thank AGLA. She takes that money and she puts it in her pocket or her bank account. This is her money. And because she took the full amount, her life insurance is now gone. This $80,000 represents the full value of this $100,000.